In this time, there is a tremendous higher new consciousness birthing. And that higher new consciousness is a place of love, and it is asking you to surrender your war with what is. Many people have a surrender that's actually still based on control. And many of us have an idea that when I surrender, I'll get this. When I surrender, then other people will understand me. And this isn't actually surrender, this is control. And there are some things that it feels impossible to surrender. I was just working with a father who hasn't spoken to his son in a long time. And he also has a very high consciousness. And his awareness is almost in the way of a belief that he has that he's not free or seen until his son sees him and understands him. He had a huge awakening and feels that I need my son to understand what I'm going through. This seems like something that it would be impossible to surrender. He has a son that he feels hates him right now, and he can't fathom the idea that he's still loved even if his son hates him. In doing a one-on-one with me, what came through to me was the offering. Could you receive the higher frequency that says you're loved even if your son hates you? And could you also allow your son to feel through what your son is feeling through right now? That would be the ultimate love. For you to feel a love for your son that says, I'm even going to allow you the freedom to hate me. This was a new level. The idea that we're all love and we're only seen when everyone is all there, that when everyone around me sees me, that when everyone understands this higher truth, that's love. No, you're still creating a world that's outside of you, that you're still enslaved to, that you're only free when that world becomes what you've decided you want, so you don't have to heal this wound that's here. There's a real wound that's here. And the wound says certain things should be different. And I know that you can watch this and go, Kyle, we should have a world that's based on peace. We should have a world that's based on love and healing. And that's actually true. But the world that you're seeing is truly a mirror of what is not healed in you. Right now, some people see a world that's very trauma based. Some people see a world that's based on control. And weirdly, they want to change that world, which is their control. As you start healing, you'll start to see a healed world. As you start to move into oneness and realize, I do not have a war with what is, you'll start to see a world that's exactly the same. The world you're looking at is through a lens of unhealed trauma from your childhood or your past. Right now, our new surrender is things are exactly where they're supposed to be. And the ego says, well, if I say that, things will just get worse and worse and worse. But the truth is, what you're doing is allowing God or the universe to change the things through its will, through how it knows, so that you don't have to be the one that's changing everything. When you're trying to change everything, it's your wounded child doing it. You have a wounded 5-year-old that's trying to change politics or world issues or how other people see you. And that wounded child can't do that. When you allow yourself to surrender and receive the love that's here, the wounded child can rest in you, can actually be seen for the first time. The old way is the wounded child thinks it's seen when it changes everything. But the real way is that you take the wounded child and say, you tell me what hurts, you tell me what you're scared of, and you allow that to be heard through the now. Then you become more and more the now, and you actually start to see the world closer and closer to how God sees the world. God sees the world as perfect. And the more that the world receives that it's perfect and that everything else is perfect, the faster things actually change. So it's a real ironic paradox. The more you see the world as perfect, the more it becomes perfect. The more you see a world that has to be changed, the more that you see a world that's in resistance to itself, and the more you're in an argument with what is. And you start to realize the war that you're worried about is actually inside you. When you're like, the world's at war, no, 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 the only war you have is your war with the world as it is. And the more you allow yourself to see that the war you see outside is actually perfect, you're not being passive and letting bad things happen nearly as much as you're creating a level of surrender that allows God to create the change versus your 5-year-old you trying to stop your parents from fighting via trying to change certain circumstances in the world. This is an incredible time, and we're on this planet in this time to learn surrender and that we're actually taken care of. We're actually loved, and we're actually going through what we need to go through to move into the truth of what we are. Because the only thing shedding is what you thought you were, but it's actually what you're not and never were. Some of what you thought was your purpose in the past was actually your control or your fear or your protection looking like purpose. The more you don't know what's happening, the closer you are to your true purpose. The more you're actually connecting to the true you, the more you've gone through an awakening and you allow it, the more that you receive that everything's on course and you are in your purpose and you can't get out of it. What was in the past was also perfect for the time you were in, but it's not what you need now. You need the receiving that everything's okay and that you're loved, not based on your circumstances. You're not loved when someone sees you. You're not loved when you finally get a partner or finally become single or finally have enough money. You're loved. And it's up to you to decide to receive the courage to receive that you're loved, no matter what. This is hard to the ego because the ego says, I'm loved when I figure it out, when I control things, even when I have a breakthrough, then I'm loved. Unfortunately, for that ego, there's no chasing the love that you are. And the ego's scared because now it has no job. But the truth is, you're loved, period. And when you finally receive that, you realize there's nothing you need to do to become loved. And ironically, when you allow yourself to receive that you are love and you are loved, so much more will just be done. You can't move via egoic effort nearly as well now in this time, but you can move mountains through surrender. Honored to be with you in this amazing time.